Alrighty then, it is day 43 of the 100 Days of Narration Challenge, and this week's theme is going to be video game reviews, specifically video game reviews from really old video game magazines I have lying around, which have just been gathering dust, and I thought, you know, why not? Let's see what people thought of some classics or big name games before during its release, and see how prescient they were or what have you, because some of these games just became so goddamn big and became part of popular culture, and it's kind of like well, what did they think on day one of these games? So I thought, you know, why not just bring some of this up? Also, it's a good way to just get some of this, just get some of this junk out of my house. Anyway, for today's review, I'm going to be reading from Ultra Game Players. Ultra Game Players. Are any of these magazines I'm going to read out from still around? Because it's probably aren't. Are magazines still around? I haven't been to a news agency in a while, so I don't even know if that's true. Are news agencies still around? God, that's a weird question to ask. When was the last time I went to a news agent? That's a really weird thing to think about. Okay, anyway. When was the last time you picked up a magazine? Because I don't think I've actually picked up a print magazine ever since I found out, wow, websites. I could read stuff on websites. Why would I ever want a magazine ever again? It's really bizarre to think about. Anyway, Ultra Game Players. So I've already picked out what I'm going to read from this. It's going to be, I'm going to read two things actually, because it's actually kind of short-ish. But we'll see. Two things. So the first thing I'm going to read from is a preview for Final Fantasy VII. Yes, a preview. This magazine came out before Final Fantasy VII was released. That's mad to think about. So here we go. Final Fantasy VII. The tagline is, "Even the bonus games are great in Final Fantasy VII." That's the best thing you could come away from your preview with. Okay, why not? The latest offering in Squaresoft's Final Fantasy series is turning out to be one of the best games of all time. Not only does Final Fantasy VII have some of the most incredible graphics ever seen on a console system, but it also has a story full of suspense. Final Fantasy VII is definitely the darkest and most adult incarnation of the series, with a plot that cries, revenge! With a plot that cries, revenge! I'm going to say that one more time. With a plot that cries, revenge! Did it really? You know, in hindsight, did it really scream revenge? Did it really cry or scream or sob pathetically revenge? I don't know. I don't know about that. But it's not just these elements that make Final Fantasy VII such a fine game. The innocent minigames first started in Chrono Trigger have now become one of the high points in Final Fantasy VII. When Cloud and his party finally escape from the city of Midgar, they find themselves exposed to a wide open world. As the party ventures on, they will eventually end up on the Golden Saucer, an entertainment center offering a barrage of activities just for the sake of leisure. In the Wonder Room, Cloud and his party can participate in a bunch of different arcade-like games. One of these games is a motorcycle chase sequence in which Cloud, riding a Harley-Davidson-ish motorcycle, must protect his friends riding in a tiny truck. Other enemies on motorbikes will come up ripping from behind, and Cloud's only weapon is a baseball bat. This particular game is quite impressive and moves quite quickly. Another game is the snowboarding sequence. The snowboarding sequence. The player takes control of Cloud and glides him down the slopes while trying to avoid obstacles like Moogle snowmen and cactus trees. The bulk of this preview is about the minigames. Really? Keep going. After spending some time in the Wonder Room, Cloud and his party can take a stroll to Chocobo Racetrack. Here, Cloud can place Oh, there was a "the" in there. Cloud and his party can take a stroll down to the Chocobo racetrack. Here, Cloud can place bets on different Chocobos with rewards ranging from money to gold. This place also serves as a pivotal point later in the game, when the players start breeding Chocobos. These minigames are not only fun, but they rival and in some ways surpass other competitive games in their respective genres. Either way you look at it, Final Fantasy VII will be one incredible game when it hits the US this September. Until then, you can expect to see more of the best coverage from Ultra Game players. 3/4 of this preview was about the minigames. That's really. I guess, when you think about it, it's pretty impressive that there is like a snowboarding game and a motorcycle minigame and a racing game inside another game. So that is kind of impressive, but is that really what you came away with, that the minigames from Final Fantasy VII were fun? Oh, there was a real-time strategy game as well, where you have to defend God, I forgot what it's called. That place with a phoenix on top of it. Can't remember. Yeah. Anyway, and then there's a caption next to a picture of Vincent Valentine. Gamers all over the world can't wait to get their hands on Vincent's latest adventure. What? Vincent is not the main character of... Did they think Vincent Valentine... And did they think that Vincent Valentine was a character from another game? What? I don't... Yeah, this magazine is very, This is great. And then there's like screenshots of the various minigames around, and there's different captions for it. You won't be able to enter the Golden Saucer by means of airship or buggy. Instead, you'll have to take the Sky Ferry. And then there's another caption. The arcade is luminous with all sorts of crazy light fixtures and flashing screens. This really is all about the minigames. And then another caption with an awesome high-res garage-shaded environment. This snowboarding stage leaves all other PlayStation snowboarding games lost in the blizzard. Really? Really? Okay. Another option, this time for the Chocobo racing. Place your bets and choose your Chocobo wisely. Once you've found one with good stamina and speed attributes, get ready for some serious racing action. Okay, that's the no. I'm not going to read the rest. It's really a preview about Final Fantasy VII, and most of it is like, oh my god, the minigames are so awesome. Great, that's damned by faint praise, I feel there. Okay, so that was Final Fantasy VII. Now, the next thing I wanted to read from this magazine, let's have a look. Oh, wow. Jeez. Flipping through this is like nostalgia city. It's like advertisements for anime. Like really, really old school anime. It's kind of insane. Oh, here we go. And the next thing I'm going to read is a preview for Duke Nukem 3D. Yeah. Can you imagine? Yeah, can you imagine? There was a time before Duke Nukem 3D existed, and they had to preview the game. Can you imagine that time? Can you? Man, I can't even do that. It's madness. Anyway, Duke Nukem 3D with a tagline, a butt-kicking, wisecracking Saturn game with an attitude. Oh, I'm sorry, it's the Saturn port for Duke Nukem 3D. Does anyone even remember what a Saturn is? God. And here we go. Not just another Doom clone, at least to fans of the PC game, Duke Nukem 3D is a first-person shooter that is noted for the wisecracking, badass attitude of its main character. The player assumes the role of Duke Nukem, a mercenary who must run, jump, swim, and jetpack through various levels in order to save Los Angeles from evil aliens. Gameplay centers around standard first-person shooter fare, with the player navigating a maze of rooms and corridors while trying to kill everything in sight. With an arsenal of weapons including pipe bombs, chain guns, rocket-propelled grenades, and a double-barreled monstrosity called the Devastator, Duke Nukem offers 28 levels of gameplay, including one all-new Sega Saturn level. Oh. I wasn't aware there was an exclusive level for the Sega Saturn. The levels are filled with 9 different types of enemies and are littered with special tools and power-ups that must be utilized to accomplish missions. Enhanced sound for the Saturn version of the game also creates an immersive environment. For Netlink owners, Duke Nukem 3D for Saturn will allow my throat is horrible. Will allow up to 4 people to participate in head-to-head combat. Wow, that sentence was horrible. I don't know what happened there. For Netlink owners, Duke Nukem 3D for Saturn will allow up to 4 people to participate in head-to-head combat. Even this early on, it appears that all of Duke's gameplay and personality will make the transition to the Saturn unscathed. What is particularly appealing about the game is that the game engine and graphics are noticeably improved over the PC version of the game. Based on a new incarnation of the Power Slave engine, Duke Nukem 3D for the Saturn looks to be the fastest, smoothest running first-person shooter ever. To be the fastest, smoothest first-person shooter ever for a home console system. In addition to how well the game moves, the graphics are also a significant step up from the PC version. There's little pixelation and everything has a crisp, high-res appearance. The use of light sourcing and real-time lighting effects just make the game look even prettier. Although first-person shooters of the PC world are flooding home consoles, few can truly be considered top-notch Let's try that whole sentence again, sorry. Although first-person shooters of the PC world are flooding home consoles, few can truly be considered top-notch God. It doesn't help that the lines just bleed into one another. Although first-person shooters of the PC world are flooding home consoles, few can truly be considered top-notch conversions. Duke Nukem 3D offers enhancements for its what? Oh, right. Duke Nukem 3D offers enough enhancements for it to deserve serious attention for those looking for a little destructive fun. Okay, yeah. Think about it. This was about the time when consoles were just starting to get into like the whole idea of like, wow, the first-person shooters, they seem kind of fun. I guess we can have a couple. And I think at the time, platformers and action platformers were the kings of the day, like Mario, Bubsy the Bobcat. Nobody knows what that is, Edwin. Don't just never bring up Bubsy the Bobcat ever again. And like Mega Man and Turrican. Oh my God, my action platformer knowledge is pretty narrow. Castlevania, those were 2D platformers. They were the king of the day. And it wasn't really until Halo came around that people started going, hey, this thing is great. We should have more of it. And here we are today with a million fucking Call of Duty games and a million Halos and a million other whatever it's called, Medal of Warfare Battlefield in the Duty of Death 3 Zombies, whatever. Okay. And then there's like captions and various screenshots of, I assume to be the Sega Saturn version of Duke Nukem 3D. A mega hit on the PC, Duke Nukem 3D sets its sights on blasting its way into the world of Saturn. Although the environments should look familiar to Duke fans, the Saturn version does boast enhanced graphics. Advanced light sourcing technology and real-time lighting effects make this the best-looking Duke game ever. Any game that lets you kick people has got to be cool. Okay. And so that was the preview for Final Fantasy VII and Duke Nukem 3D on the Sega Saturn from Ultra Game Players. Hope you enjoyed this, because it's really, really bizarre to read something so old when these games weren't released. So, hope you enjoyed that, and join me tomorrow for another 100 Days of Narration challenge. Thank you.